To survive the Ascension trial, the Fireborn Crown Prince took me, a serpent princess, as his bride. I gave everything I had, then made him emperor. But on the day of his coronation, he used the Ascension flames to destroy the entire serpent clan. One arm around 𝑸𝒖𝒆𝒏𝒔, the rabbit spirit, the other hand driven through my chest, pulling out my soul core.
Seraphine Moro, when your serpent clan destroyed the hare clan, you should have known this day would come.
I watched my clanspeople struggle and die in the flames, and die without my soul core to protect me, was stabbed to death by that fragile little rabbit spirit. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on my wedding day. 𝑸𝒖𝒆𝒏𝒔 knelt on the floor and said she carried the crown prince's child, begging only to be allowed in as a concubine. Everyone waited for my answer. I lifted my own veil, walked to the raven standing nearby, and asked him to marry me. What Lily didn't know was this. The Ascension trial was 9 parts death. Without me, the Fireborn Crown Prince was worth less than that raven. When I opened my eyes, the fire was gone, replaced by candle lights in every direction.
Seraphina, when you go to the Fireborn court, be a worthy crown princess. Don't shame the serpent clan.
My mother, Queen Solara, held my hands, her eyes full of tears. I looked around, recognized everything, and understood I had been reborn to the day of my wedding to Fireborn Crown Prince Ashvane Solaris. My mother finished speaking. My father, King Aldrich, added a few words.
The glory of the Snake Clan is entrusted to you today.
Summono placed the white veil over my head. Then an uninvited guest burst into the hall. Princess Seraphine, 𝑸𝒖𝒆𝒏𝒔, the rabbit spirit, knelt on the floor.
Let me marry into the Fireborn court in your place. I carry the Crown Prince's child. We have long been promised to each other. Please, grant me this.
The words hit the hall like a stone hitting water. My mother's face darkened. Even my father, who was always even-tempered, went cold. The Serpent Clan and the Hare Clan had been enemies since the beginning. Yet 𝑸𝒖𝒆𝒏𝒔, a rabbit spirit, held a higher place in our clan than I did as its princess. She was the youngest daughter of the last Hare King. A century ago, a rebellion broke out among the male hares who resented having a female king. On her deathbed, the Hare Queen entrusted her loyal servant to bring the infant Lily secretly to the Serpent Clan. People came to believe that the Serpent King and the Hare Queen had once shared a brief affair, and that Lily was the result. My father never acknowledged that past, but he still brought Lily into the palace, and out of guilt, gave her treatment even better than what he gave me, his own princess. In my last life, Lily came to visit after I had already married into the Fireborn court, and only then entangled herself with Ashvane. By the time I died, I had never heard anything about her carrying his child. I couldn't help lifting my veil. I saw Lily look up at me with a smile that had already decided how this would end. That was when I understood. Lily had been reborn too.
Outrageous!
My father was furious.
Do you know how exalted the Fireborn Crown Prince is? He and Seraphina have had a betrothal for years.
Lily knows.
Lily's eyes were steady.
Lily knows her place is too low to be his queen. She would be grateful even as a concubine.
The Fireborn court has more rules than anyone can count and shows no mercy to the weak. Going there is no different from walking into your own death.
My father was so alarmed he said this directly to Lily without caring that I was standing right there.
Lily, the match I arranged for you is far better. Marry into the Raven Order. Your standing there would be the highest of anyone.
As my father said, the Fireborn were noble, but also arrogant. They looked down on every other spirit clan. Every 1,000 years, the Fireborn faced the Ascension trial. Those who passed became the next king of all feathers. But the number who passed was very low. 9 out of 10 failed. Either their power was permanently destroyed, or they died in the attempt. Our Serpent Clan's scales were indestructible. They could protect a Fireborn through the trial without death. Our secret arts were powerful too, and dual cultivation with us amplified both parties' power. So the Fireborn had come to us 1,000 years ago. The Fireborn forced the Serpent Clan to sign a pact. Every time a new Fireborn Crown Prince was born, the Serpent Clan had to send a princess with great cultivation to assist his ascension. In return, the Fireborn would protect the Serpent Clan, and because of that protection, the Fireborn looked down on us even more. Even married in as the Crown Princess, my standing would be no higher than a Fireborn servant girl. But no matter how much my father reasoned with her, Lily refused to hear a word of it.
Ravens are cursed birds. Their standing is even lower than the Serpent clans. Even if I became their queen, I still wouldn't rank above a Fireborn servant girl. I want to marry the Fireborn Crown Prince.
The auspicious hour was almost here. My father ran out of patience. He called guards to drag Lily away by force.
Send for the physician. Get rid of the child she's carrying.
But the moment they reached the door, each of the guards was struck by a bolt of golden light. When the light faded, 𝒆𝒏𝒔 stepped into view. 𝒆𝒏 was strikingly handsome, refined and polished as jade. At just 3 years old, he had already stood out from among the Fireborn princes and been named Crown Prince by the old Fireborn king. But this man with such a fine reputation, after I helped him ascend, listened to Lily's scheming and moved to destroy the entire Serpent clan. Because Lily believed her mother's death had been orchestrated by my father, she had been born a distinguished hair princess and ended up as the Serpent King's illegitimate daughter, and she had never forgiven that.
𝒆💏, please. Stop.
At the time, I knelt and begged 𝒆💏 to stop.
If the Serpent clan fell, the Fireborn would never again have an easy path through their ascension.
𝒆💏 drove his hand through my chest and pulled out my soul core.
Don't worry. I'll use the scales of your entire clan to forge the finest armor in the world. Consider it your clan's atonement.
I watched my clanspeople have their scales stripped from their bodies one by one, then be thrown into the ascension flames. That day the ground ran with blood. Screaming filled the air. The fire dyed the whole sky red. Thinking of it now, I wanted to kill this man where he stood. But I knew the moment wasn't right. I was no match for 𝒆💏. Not yet. 𝒆💏 helped Lily to her feet and looked at my father.
Serpent King, Lily carries my child. I intend to make her my queen. As for Seraphine Morrow, she can serve as my concubine if I'm feeling generous.
Lily leaned against 𝒆💏's chest.
That wouldn't be right. I'm only a humble servant girl. I couldn't compare to Princess Seraphine.
𝒆💏 smiled coldly.
No matter how noble she is, her nobility is only among the serpent grind. In the Fireborn court, she isn't fit to carry my shoes.
The Fireborn had never respected the Serpent clan. Every time there was a marriage between the clans, the Fireborn never bothered to send anyone. The Serpent clan always delivered the bride themselves. Both sides understood this unspoken arrangement. But 𒆆💏 saying it aloud in front of everyone had ignited genuine fury. Several of the elders went dark-faced. My father's anger rose too.
If the Crown Prince holds our clan in such contempt, perhaps this marriage is not one we need to pursue.
𝒆💏 knew well enough that without serpent scales his ascension would be nearly impossible. Realizing he had said the wrong thing, he clasped his hands and apologized.
𝒆💏 spoke out of turn. Serpent King, please forgive me. It's only that I cannot bring myself to fail Lily, so I must ask the princess to bear with the arrangement.
I hope the Serpent King will decide quickly. My father is waiting to celebrate.
In terms of power, the Serpent clan was nowhere near the Fireborn court. Even if my father was unwilling, he had no choice but to yield. For the sake of his people, he looked up at me.
Seraphine, what do you think?
His mouth asked for my opinion. His eyes had already made the answer clear. He wanted me to accept. The realization made something in me go cold. Everyone said my father adored me, but I knew he favored Lily more. From childhood, he had trained me in how to please the Fireborn, how to survive at their margins, how to fight for the Serpent clan's interests. He made me cultivate day and night without rest. It was because the Fireborn set a bar impossibly high for any Serpent princess. Without immense cultivation, she couldn't protect the Crown Prince through his trial. When the Fireborn ascended, a serpent was always beside them. For every Fireborn who came out alive, most serpents alongside them had been sacrificed. Lily only needed to eat well, rest well, and enjoy herself. My father even chose for her the freest and most equal of all clans, the Raven Order, as her future home. For the first time in my life, I had a thought that went against my father.
Father, I refuse to be anyone's concubine.
The moment I said it, I heard a sharp intake of breath from half the room. 𝒆💏 blinked, clearly not having anticipated that anyone would refuse to marry him. Lily's face filled with satisfaction. My father frowned.
If not a concubine, what about equal wives? You and Lily both married to the Crown Prince, neither ranked above the other.
I don't want that either. I don't want to marry into the Fireborn court at all.
𝒆💏 looked at me. His expression said I didn't know what was good for me. My father lost his patience.
If you won't marry the Fireborn court, then who do you want to marry?
I want to marry him.
I pointed at a man in black standing in the corner, under every eye in the room. I walked toward him.
Will you marry me?
The man was none other than 𝒆𝒏𝒔 Blackwood, the young lord of the Raven Order, who had come today to meet Lily. Before 𝒆𝒏𝒔 could say a word, 𝒆𝒏𝒑 burst out laughing.
I thought the Serpent Princess had set her sights on someone important, and it turns out to be a raven.
Ravens were considered bad omens and naturally held in contempt by the proud Fireborn. But the Raven Order was free, spirited, graceful, and mysterious. They believed in equality. They looked down on no one. My father's expression went dangerously dark. Even my mother, who always showed me warmth, went pale. Lily spoke up.
Princess, are you serious? You want to marry 𝒆𝒏𝒔? You're not just saying that?
I nodded.
Of course. I have long admired him. Naturally, I want to marry him.
𝒆𝒏𝒑's expression curdled instantly.
A raven. It will never cultivate into a phoenix. It will never even reach divine transformation.
I smiled.
And yet the great phoenix still relies on our serpent clan to survive the ascension. There are those who strut around giving orders here, but the moment they need something, they wag their tails harder than a stray dog begging for scraps.
I thought of how, in my last life, 𝒆𝒏𝒑 had been especially attentive to me as his trial approached. That was when he charmed me so thoroughly that when the moment came, I gave everything I had to protect him through it. When it was over and I had somehow survived, I was gravely injured. That was why 𝒆𝒏𝒑 was able to take my soul core. Then Lily found my weakest point. Together they stripped my scales from my body, and she killed me with a final blade. Thinking of it now, the place where my heart used to be ached dully.
Who are you calling a dog?
Whoever fits the description.
At that, a soft laugh broke through. 𝒆𝒏𝒔 Blackwood, silent until now, smiled. I looked up at him and paused. I hadn't really looked at him before. This 𝒆𝒏𝒔 Blackwood, he was surprisingly handsome.
Even you dare laugh at me, raven. Die!
𝒆𝒏𝒑 was provoked by that laugh and immediately struck toward him with an open palm. 𝒆𝒏𝒑 was still the Fireborn Crown Prince. He had real power. My instinct was to shield 𝒆𝒏𝒔, but he was already there ahead of me, meeting 𝒆𝒏𝒑 palm to palm. In that instant, black energy and gold energy collided, and held perfectly even. 𝒆𝒏𝒑 was forced back.
A misunderstanding, Your Highness. I laughed because Princess Seraphina said she admired me. I was simply too excited to contain it. Your power is formidable. 𝒆𝒏𝒔 concedes.
But anyone could see. 𝒆𝒏𝒑 was not his match. Others might marvel at how deep 𝒆𝒏𝒔's cultivation ran. Only I knew the truth. 𝒆𝒏𝒑 had never been as powerful as his reputation claimed. In my last life, without me, he couldn't have bested his own personal guards. 𝒆𝒏𝒑's face went dark, but then Lily stepped
Your
forward.
Highness, since the princess and 𝒆𝒏𝒔 clearly have feelings for each other, there's no need to insist on marrying her.
I was still puzzling over when Lily had become so reasonable, when she turned and knelt before my father.
Your Majesty, by the pact between the Fireborn Court and the Serpent Clan, a Serpent Princess must marry the Fireborn Crown Tights. Since Princess Seraphine refuses, I am willing to go in her place, on the condition that she transfers her title of Serpent Princess to me, along with her scales and her Serpent Stone.
So that was where she had been waiting. The Serpent Clan had 3 treasures. Scales, indestructible, capable of withstanding divine lightning. Serpent Stone, which absorbed the essence of sun and moon, and amplified both parties' cultivation during dual practice. And the Soul Core. She was demanding 2 of the 3. How was that any different from taking my life? I hadn't yet opened my mouth. 𝒆𝒏𝒑 was already pressing my father.
Serpent King. Seraphine broke the pact first. If she won't hand over those 2 things, I'll have a difficult time answering to my father.
Here we go again. Can't win the fight. So bring out the Fireborn Court. My father's brow tightened, but he gave way.
Seraphine, if you truly won't marry into the court, then I'm afraid you'll have to hand those 2 things over to Lily.
At that moment, my faith in my father was gone entirely. I gave a cold laugh.
And if I refuse?
The moment I said it, the whole hall went still. Every serpent in the room looked at me, expressions shifting rapidly. My father's brows were nearly knotted together.
Seraphine, this is not the time for stubbornness.
He took my hand and lowered his voice.
You know what it means to anger the Fireborn Court. Can you not think of our people for once?
And every Fireborn Emperor eventually reached divine transformation. No clan in the spirit world was willing to make an enemy of them. But even so,
Father, your daughter refuses to accept this.
I clasped my hands.
The wrong is clearly on the Fireborn Court's side. Even if I refuse to marry, even if I refuse to hand anything over, no one has grounds to fault me for it. You are forcing me out of nothing but fear. But have you ever asked yourself, is the Fireborn Court truly that unshakable? Is our Serpent Clan truly beneath them? The more you yield, the more they will take. That is all they have ever learned to do.
I thought of my last life, when the Fireborn came to destroy us. The moment they arrived, our Serpent Clan surrendered. Not a single person dared to push back. Because even my father feared the powerful Fireborn, how could the people below him be expected to resist? Yet I remembered my mother once telling me that when my father was young, he was not a man who bent easily. Hearing my words, my father stared at me as though he didn't know me. 𝒆𝒏𝒒 gave a cold laugh.
Quite the speech. Since the Serpent Clan clearly has no interest in negotiating, I suppose nothing left to discuss. I'll have to bring this matter back to my father.
I thought my words might have reached something in him. Then his hand came across my face. I looked up at my father, his face burning with fury, and felt something freeze inside me.
You ungrateful wretch! What nonsense are you spouting? Hand over the scales and the serpent stone now! Or do you intend to force your own father's hand?
Those words, each one a blade driven straight into my chest. I looked around, contempt in every clansperson's eyes, triumph all over Lily's face. Only 𝒆𝒏𝒔 made a move to step forward. The person beside him grabbed him and held on hard. I closed my eyes. You cannot wake someone who is only pretending to sleep. I was about to shift form, about to strip my scales.
Wait.
I opened my eyes. My mother looked at 𝒆𝒏𝒒.
Your Highness, use my scales and my serpent stone instead.
Mother! Why would you?
My scales are denser. My serpent stone is stronger.
I started to say it didn't matter.
You're so old. Who wants your things? We want Seraphina Moro's.
𝒆𝒏𝒒 nodded in agreement.
Please, let Seraphine go. Mine are not lesser.
Every word my mother said drove deeper into me. My mother, like my father, had always kept the best things for Lily. I had always resented that in her. I thought she was weak, that she had spent her whole life losing herself for my father's sake. But now I saw how completely wrong I had been, that Neil broke something open in my chest.
Mine.
Lily, I'll give you my scales and my serpent stone. But whether you can keep them, that depends on your own abilities.
Lily curved her lips.
Then I'll thank the princess.
In front of everyone, I shifted into my true form. The pain of stripping scales went beyond anything that can be described. My tail swept across my body. The scales fell away one by one. I shook with each one. 1, 2, 3. Every scale I lost added another measure of pain. When all of them had fallen away, the blue-green scales gathered together and wove themselves into a sheath of armor that drifted down onto Lily. She couldn't help spinning once, the smile on her face uncontainable. I shifted back to human form. I lost my footing for a moment, staggering, and was caught. I turned to look. It was 𝒆𝒏𝒔. I thanked him, and then used my inner energy to force out the serpent stone. The blue-green serpent stone rose into the air. Lily swallowed it without waiting, but the next second she let out a scream. Instead of the flood of power she had expected, a violent pain erupted from the center of her chest. She writhed on the floor, shrieking. The sound was raw and tearing. 𝒆𝒏𝒒 frowned and moved to channel energy to help her. Before he even touched her, Lily screamed once more. The serpent stone burst out from her chest. It rose into the air, streaked with blood, its blue-green light dimmer than before. Lily looked up and vomited a mouthful of blood.
Seraphine Moro, you tampered with the serpent stone.
The next instant, 𝒆𝒏𝒒's sword was pressed against my throat.
What did you do to her?
I told him.
I did nothing.
If you did nothing, how did she end up like this?
A serpent stone is naturally a Serpent Clan treasure.
Without a serpent's soul core to anchor it, it cannot be absorbed by anyone else. That is common knowledge.
This was not a secret. Lily had lived among us long enough to know it. Her face went pale.
Impossible. I carry serpent blood. Why can't I use it? You must have done something.
I asked her.
Who told you that you carry serpent blood?
I am the Serpent King's daughter! How could I not carry serpent blood?
Who said you were the Serpent King's daughter? Your father is not me.
My father finally stepped forward. In my last life, my father was gravely injured before 𝒆𝒏𝒔's ascension trial. After I went back to see him one final time, my mother told me the truth.
Lily is not your father's child at all.
There had never been any affair between my father and the Hair Queen. It was my mother who had once been saved by the Hair Queen. They had called each other sisters ever since. When my father learned the Hair Queen was under attack, he had even sent troops to rescue her, but they arrived too late.
Lily, you were never my father's child.
She didn't believe me. She thought I was lying. But now, hearing it from my father's own mouth, with the Serpent Stone's reaction as proof, Lily had no choice but to believe.
So the Serpent Stone alone isn't enough. A soul core is needed too. Then give me the soul core.
I looked at him with cold eyes.
In your dreams.
A soul core was everything to a spirit being. Once it was taken, any chance of revenge I had would be gone forever. My words had pushed 𝒆𝒏𝒔 past his limit.
Then I'll take it myself.
He gathered his power, took his stance, and flew at me with his sword. I had just stripped all my scales. There was no way I could match him now. At that moment, 𝒆𝒏𝒔 stepped in front of me. I heard the person beside him shout,
𝒆𝒏𝒔, this is a matter between the Serpent Clan and the Fireborn Court. Do you want to bring destruction on the Raven Order?
𝒆𝒏𝒔's foot shifted slightly to the side. Then he held his ground. But in the end, it was not 𝒆𝒏𝒔 who blocked 𝒆𝒏𝒔's sword. It was my father. Red palm force met golden sword energy. My father swept his hand and sent 𝒆𝒏𝒔 flying back several feet. He hit the floor. He got back up.
Serpent King, what do you think you're doing?
My father stood between me and 𝒆𝒏𝒔, his presence like a wall.
Crown Prince, our clan has already given you what you came for. To keep demanding more is going too far.
There is nothing this Crown Prince desires that he cannot have. Are you inviting me to take this complaint to my father?
This king has met the Fireborn Emperor and found him to be a reasonable man. If the Crown Princess wishes to bring a complaint, this king would not mind making the journey to the Fireborn Court himself to give the Emperor a full account of what his Crown Prince did here today.
My father's words were well-reasoned. The Fireborn Emperor was arrogant, but he was a man who valued appearances, even when he wanted to start a conflict. He needed a suitable pretext. Today, the fault was plainly 𝒆𝒏𝒔's from the start. If this truly reached the Emperor, 𝒆𝒏𝒔 would not come away clean. 𝒆𝒏𝒔 understood that. His expression went cold. He reached out and drew the bloodied serpent stone from the air. Then he picked Lily up off the floor.
Serpent Clan, you'll regret this.
𝒆𝒏𝒔 left. Every face among the Serpent Clan was heavy, especially the elders. They gathered near my father and spoke quietly in his ear. My father shook his head.
I'll handle this.
He looked up at me.
Seraphine, come to the back hall.
I followed him. I couldn't quite read what he was thinking, but when he had stepped in front of me just now, I began to wonder if my father was not entirely the man I had assumed him to be.
Father, what did you want to see me for?
The moment the door closed behind us, my father gripped the edge of the table and coughed up blood.
Father, what is this?
I knew my father's strength. Nothing 𝒆𝒏𝒔 had done today could have hurt him.
Seraphine, I'm sorry. Your father may be dying.
Don't say such things, Father. How could you possibly be dying?
Your father is old.
And then I learned the truth, that the Hair Clan had been finding ways to infiltrate the Serpent Clan for years. They had placed people inside the palace. They had even bought off the personal guard closest to my father. That guard had been slowly poisoning him for 3 years. When my father discovered it recently, the guard gave him one final strike before being captured. Lily had also been manipulated by these same people. My father had never told me any of this. That was why, in my last life, he had left so early. Knowing the truth now, tears ran down my face beyond my control.
I truly am sorry. I know relying on the Fireborn Court was never the answer. They can protect us, but they can just as easily swallow us whole. The Hare clan has been circling us like wolves. Your father can no longer protect his people.
That is why I forced you to give those 2 things away. Now I understood how much my father had been carrying alone. He had truly wronged me. But when the choice was between wronging me and wronging his people, he had no other option.
Seraphine, I have always set the bar high for you because you were born a serpent princess, and anyone who receives the trust and reparates of their people must bear the responsibilities that come with it. But your father never once asked whether you wanted any of this.
I didn't yet understand what he meant. My father suddenly reached out and took my hand. I felt a current of spiritual energy surge from his palms into mine. New scales had begun to grow slowly beneath my skin. I yanked my hand back immediately.
Father, you cannot give me your scales! If you give them to me, what will become of you? I don't want them!
But my protests were useless. He gave me his scales anyway. And beyond that, a new serpent stone took shape inside me.
Seraphine, I know you have always longed for freedom. Go and find it.
But what about you, Father? What will happen to you?
Your father is dying. Death is its own release. After I am gone, you must take your mother and leave the Serpent Clan. After that, don't come back.
His voice grew fainter. At last he closed his eyes. His human form dissolved quickly, and a great serpent, bare of every scale, lay coiled on the bed.
Father! Father!
I wept until my throat was raw, but my father could no longer see me. When I opened the door, my mother, Queen Solara, was already waiting outside.
Is your father gone?
I nodded through my tears. My mother pressed a packed travel bag into my hands.
Then go quickly. When the others find out, they may try to blame you.
I caught my mother's hand.
Father told me to take you with me.
I can't leave. I still have to hold the Serpent Clan together for your father. He was bound to this clan his whole life. I can't watch his life's work fall apart.
I broke down weeping. Those words struck directly into the center of me.
Mother, I'll stay and hold it with you.
After my father's death, I inherited the throne. I became the new Serpent Queen. Only then did I learn how precarious our situation truly was. The Fireborn Court had promised to protect the Serpent Clan. But that protection only guaranteed we wouldn't be wiped out entirely. The Hare clan kept causing trouble within our walls. The first thing I did after taking power was to hunt down those informants. After rounding them all up, I used our resources to buy large quantities of cultivation medicine for the clan's younger generation. A strong generation of young serpents meant a strong clan. I studied cultivation methods. I forged spirit weapons. Only a serpent clan powerful in its own right could ever break free from the Fireborn Court's control. While I was busy doing all of this, someone appeared at my side. After my father's death, 𝒆𝒏'𝒔 stayed. No matter what I was doing, whenever I turned around, he was there.
Why haven't you left?
𝒆𝒏𝒔 smiled.
Didn't you ask me to marry you?
He said it so openly. I heard it and felt heat rise to my ears. 3 years passed like that. The Serpent Clan grew stronger by the day. The tension I had carried in my nerves for so long finally began to ease. But when it eased, my body's mating cycle arrived. Serpent nature runs hot. The mating cycle was always difficult to endure. When 𝒆𝒏𝒔 pushed the door open and walked in, I was twisted up on the bed like something dragged up from deep water. He stopped at the sight of me.
My queen. What's wrong?
I had intended to push through it alone, but during the mating cycle, a serpent's senses become extraordinarily sharp, especially toward the presence of a powerful male. Once his scent filled the room, my awareness began to dissolve. By the time I came back to half a thought, I had already crawled on top of him. 𝒆𝒏𝒔's face was deeply flushed.
My queen, you...
I looked up at him, my voice gone low.
You said you would marry me. Does that still stand?
His ears were red enough to bleed.
It stands.
Then tonight, let it be our wedding night.
5 days later, the hollow ache in my body finally faded. Dual cultivation with a serpent amplifies both sides' power. So it wasn't only me, 𝒆𝒏𝒔's cultivation had grown considerably as well. Even without my involvement, 𝒆𝒏𝒔 cultivated faster than anyone I had ever seen. In my last life, I had merged with 𝒆𝒏𝒔. Yet 𝒆𝒏𝒔 didn't have half of Corvus's natural understanding, which only went to show the Fireborn were not the strongest beings in this world. A few more days passed, then word came from the Fireborn court. 𝒆𝒏𝒔's ascension trial had failed. The news didn't surprise me. In my last life, 𝒆𝒏𝒔's success had depended entirely on my spiritual energy sustaining him. At the critical moment, I had used my cultivation and my scales to protect him through it. In this life, he had no help from me to build his power. Lily was useless to him. With only my scales for protection and nothing more, his failure was inevitable. The messenger returned and reported that although 𝒆𝒏𝒔 had failed, he had not lost his cultivation entirely. The Fireborn Emperor had given him half his own cultivation to preserve him, and a second attempt was likely. The Emperor truly did favor this son, anyone else with such mediocre talent would have been abandoned long ago. Hearing this news, there was only one thought in my mind. If 𝒆𝒏𝒔 attempted the ascension again, he would certainly come to the Serpent Clan for scales. The very next day after that thought, a servant reported that the Fireborn Crown Prince had arrived. When I saw 𝒆𝒏𝒔 and Lily again, I almost didn't recognize them. 𝒆𝒏𝒔 had once been called the finest young lord in the spirit world. Handsome in every detail, noble in every movement. But the 𝒆𝒏𝒔 who had failed his ascension was a disaster. Even his elaborate robes couldn't hide the defeat that had settled into his face. Corvus beside me, by contrast, had only become more composed. Lily had changed even more dramatically. After several years, she had wasted to almost nothing. The spy who had gone to the Fireborn court to gather information said Lily's life there had been wretched. As a rabbit spirit, anyone could walk all over her. She had once believed that carrying 𝒆𝒏𝒔's child would give her a position of power above all others. What she didn't know was that the Fireborn Queen valued bloodline above everything. And once she learned Lily was a rabbit spirit, she arranged to have the child destroyed. At first, 𝒆𝒏𝒔 had stood up for her. But as time passed, 𝒆𝒏𝒔 realized Lily was entirely useless to his cultivation, and abandoned her entirely. Lily's life in the Fireborn court was worse than that of livestock. 𝒆𝒏𝒔 had also given my serpent stone away to another serpent clan woman, but an ordinary serpent had no way to wield a serpent stone of my caliber. When 𝒆𝒏𝒔 saw me, he actually apologized.
Seraphine, 3 years ago I was in the wrong. I should not have humiliated you in front of everyone.
He shoved Lily forward.
It was this vile woman who stirred up trouble between us. I've brought her today. You may deal with her however you see fit.
Hearing that, Lily trembled from head to foot. I said,
Your Highness is too gracious. What's past is past.
Then you've forgiven me?
𝒆𝒏𝒔's eyes brightened.
Seraphine, I have thought of you constantly these 3 years. I kept track of everything happening here. When I learned how you had rebuilt the entire serpent plant, I was genuinely glad for you.
His false sincerity made my stomach turn. I gave a cold laugh.
Is that so? I have not thought of you. I have someone far better now.
As I spoke, I glanced at Corvus beside me.
Your purpose in coming today is perfectly clear to me. Please go back. You won't take a single scale from here today.
𝒆𝒏𝒔's expression curdled. He stripped away his pretense entirely.
Seraphine Moro! Others call you Serpent Queen and you actually believe it. Today, the scales. I'm taking them.
The moment he finished speaking, Lily, still on the floor, suddenly produced a knife and swung it at me. My instinct struck back. Lily hit the ground. I looked up. 𝒆𝒏𝒔 had already flown out of the hall. I heard him shout,
All soldiers! The Serpent Queen has murdered my crown consort without cause! Justice demands it! Come with me and avenge her!
Avenge the crown! Avenge the crown consort!
The shouts filled the sky one after another. That was when I understood 𝒆𝒏𝒔 had not come alone. The Fireborn court never changed. They always needed a pretext before declaring war. Lily was lying on the ground now, vomiting a mouthful of blood. I walked over and knelt beside her.
The Fireborn treated you that way, and you still fought for them.
My father and mother raised you like their own child. You helped bring about their deaths. Why?
Lily laughed.
Because I am Hair Clan. If it weren't for your people, I would never have been cast out by mine.
Do you know the reason you were cast out? Because the Hair Clan wanted to kill you. My father took you in to save your life.
Lily gave a cold sound.
That's
That's nothing but lies your father invented. They kidnapped me. That's why my mother surrendered territory to your serpent clan. That's why the Hair clan turned against her and killed her. Your clan is the most treacherous of all. I did all of this for Ashvan, so he would destroy your clan in return and make me Fireborn Queen!
Her words weren't finished. My blade had already entered her heart. When she felt the pain, Lily looked at me in disbelief.
Why? Ashvan clearly said...
She didn't finish. Her eyes closed. What did Ashvan say? He said Fireborn's secret arts would keep her from dying. This woman, she was pitiful in her foolishness. She believed every lie her own clan told her. She refused to believe the clan that had protected her since childhood. I truly felt grief for my father. She had lived among the Fireborn all that time, and still believed Ashvan was a good man. The way he once deceived me, he had used the exact same method on Lily. Wind rose. Outside, the sky was swallowed by a mass of dark clouds. A guard rushed in to report that the Fireborn forces were drawing closer by the moment. The wind lifting my hair.
Tell everyone. We fight.
3 years of waiting. 3 years of preparation. All for this day. After being reborn, I finally understood. The Fireborn court had long since stopped wanting to rely on the Serpent clan to get through the Ascension. What they wanted was to raise the number of successful Ascensions. And forging an invincible armor from serpent scales was their safest path to that. So Ashvan hadn't destroyed the Serpent clan for Lily's sake. The Fireborn court had moved to destroy us for their own benefit. There was no hiding from it anymore. The only way to survive was to fight. Fortunately, the Serpent clan was no longer what it had been. Everyone was ready. This was going to be a brutal war. The battle began quickly. I charged out. 𝒆𝒏𝒔 charged out. Everyone charged out. War cries, swords, blades. The Fireborn had not expected us to dare fight back. They paid the price for underestimating us quickly. The battle tilted heavily in our favor, just as I was preparing to press for a decisive strike. Ashvan transformed into a phoenix and took to the sky. He blotted out the sun and breathed fire directly down onto us. In an instant, the Serpent clan's casualties surged. So this was the power the Fireborn Emperor had lent him. Only half his cultivation. And already this devastated. Ashvan called down from above.
Seraphine Moro, you're clever. You prepared for this. Too bad your clan is still too weak. This war is already over.
Fire surrounded me and my clanspeople on every side. Looking at those roaring flames, I felt as if I had been sent back to my last life. Was it truly the Serpent clan's fate to never be able to resist? I gripped my weapon and raised it directly toward Ashvan.
Even if we can't win, I will fight anyway.
I was about to shift into my true form to face him, when 𝒆𝒏𝒔 took my hand.
Let me. Ha! You hopeless dead raven, you don't know your own limits. You dare touch me?
Ashvan laughed.
Today I won't just destroy the Serpent clan. I'll wipe out the Raven Order alongside them.
I knew 𝒆𝒏𝒔 had cultivated hard in these 3 years. I frowned at him.
𝒆𝒏𝒔, go.
But facing Ashvan was clearly beyond him.
This is a Serpent clan matter. The Phoenix was king of all birds. I didn't want to drag the Raven Order into this.
𝒆𝒏𝒔 smiled.
Fool, we've already shared a wedding night. That makes us husband and wife. Husband and wife are one. Besides, there's something you don't know. Ravens can ascend too.
My eyes went wide. Distant thunder rolled in. Ashvan frowned.
What is this? Wasn't the next ascension years away?
Only I knew the truth, that thunder wasn't Ashvan's. It was 𝒆𝒏𝒔's. 𝒆𝒏𝒔 took my hand.
My love, I may need your help to get through this ascension.
I nodded. 𝒆𝒏𝒔 shifted his form, became a raven, and flew straight into the thunder. My heart surged. I spoke the incantation. Every scale on my body rose and followed him. Moments later, thunder split the sky.
This stupid bird flew into lightning of his own accord. Clearly in a hurry to die.
Before Ashvan's words had finished, a long, shaking cry rang out. The mountains and earth trembled. A dark bird tore out from within the thunder. Someone in the crowd recognized it.
The three-legged sun raven, the solar bird!
Welcome the sacred bird! Welcome the sacred bird!
Everyone knelt, as though the sun god itself had descended. The Sunday raven's light outshone the sun. let alone a mere phoenix. Ashvane's face went rigid with shock.
How is this possible? He was only a raven.
Ashvane barely managed a single move. Corvus flew toward him and swept one wing lightly. And the Fireborn Crown Prince was swallowed by white flame. The phoenix fears nothing less than fire. It can even be reborn through flame. But the Sunday Raven's fire was too fierce, and Ashvane was too fragile. In no time at all, his voice was gone. Ashvane was dead. The remaining Fireborn forces fell to pieces. Corvus took me and flew directly to the Fireborn Court's stronghold. We killed the arrogant Fireborn Emperor as well. Every bird clan bowed to Corvus as the new king of all birds, honoring the Raven Order as the new nobility. But Corvus abolished the hierarchy that divided the spirit clans. He said all spirit kind were equal. No clan should be bound in subjugation to another. This could not change the prejudice that ran between clans overnight. But at least some among them now knew what resistance looked like. Corvus came for me with a grand wedding procession. I became, in truth and in name, Corvus Blackwood's wife.